Guys, welcome to the stream. How you doing? We are today joined, as you can see, by Dave from Coinhuskers. Dave, welcome to the stream. I'm so happy to finally have you on. How you doing?
Thank you, Seeker. Look forward to have some fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, glad to have you guys here, or you here as well, and glad to have you guys here in the chat also. As always, guys, listen, this is a chat with a guest, and this week, Dave from Coinhuskers is a big wholesale and bullion dealer who also does his own smelting and refining, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But we're also going to talk about how spot price showed some strength today. We actually made some moves upwards for once, and we will get into that. But as always, guys, if you have any questions, don't forget to put the question starting with 3 question marks so that we can recognize it. Tag me at SilverSeeker so that it pops up in orange on my screen. And again, welcome to the stream. So, Dave, how you doing?
Loving the day, doing great.
Yeah. So tell us, Dave, a little bit about what you do, so that the audience that is watching kind of knows what you do in the background. Like, not just as a bullion dealer, but also in the background.
Yeah, so we are the only private mint in Nebraska. We make 7 sizes of silver bars. We make our own silver grains. We got a granule machine. And then we refine gold and silver, platinum, palladium right on hand. And then we convert non-pure silver to pure silver. So we pretty much do everything besides make 1 ounce silver rounds on hand. And we're actually going to expand the warehouse and looking at doing that. So we're basically going to be a one-stop shop, basically for all your bullion needs. And then we also do coins as well, which we're going to the Lansing coin show and this week. So we do coin shows as well. And then we have a website where you can buy 24/7 online, and then soon you can sell 24/7 online. So we're working on that. I was told our retail was going to be done hopefully within a couple months. So hopefully you can just, on the website, you can buy and sell 24/7 here pretty soon.
So we have a couple of questions already. Dave, you obviously you're a wholesaler as well, right? Because
Yes.
you're Josh's wholesaler.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we're working on it'll be Coinhuskers on our wit'll be Coinhuskers wholesale. So we have a completely different website for wholesale.
Fair enough. So Oxesby asked the question pre-stream, so we're going to go ahead and run with that one. He said, "My biggest question is, all the silver bars actually being sold to melters and then shipping out? I haven't seen silver bars in his LCS for weeks. Is there any issues with like 10-ounce bars?"
No, not at all.
Right.
We made 10-ounce bars today. No issues with 10-ounce bars. There's plenty in supply of 10-ounce bars out there. So it sounds like the shop just, maybe with the volatility of the market, just doesn't want to stock, a lot of 10-ounce bars, or just maybe the 10-ounce bars aren't selling well in that area right now.
Gotcha. So maybe he should ask his LCS why they don't have them, because it's obviously, every LCS I've been to, every shop that I've called, even talking to Josh, I haven't heard any issues with 10-ounce bars. They seem to be readily available, as is all silver, really, right?
Yes, no issues, especially 10-ounce bars. They're very easy to make. 10-ounce bars and kilo silver bars are the 2 easiest bars for us to make.
Awesome. So RMC wanted to place bets on how late we'd be today. We weren't late at all. So RMC, how much did you bet? I'm just curious.
Oh, I thought you meant how late we're going to go.
Oh, yeah, no. Because last week,
Okay.
If you remember last week, we had Josh on here, and we were so late because I had hit start streaming on OBS. I did not hit go live on YouTube. And so unfortunately for that reason, we were really late. So it is what it is. Let's see. So we have another question here. This one says, what is the minimum amount a person would have to spend in order to buy from a wholesaler and not pay a retail price?
Yeah, so minimum amount wholesale, it's going to be 10 ounces of gold or 15 ounces of gold to meet free shipping at nearly every major wholesaler in the United States. And then silver is 500 ounces minimum. That's standard. Otherwise, you're going to pay $25 to $35 shipping if you don't meet that threshold.
Well, I think they're also talking about to get like the wholesale discount. So, if you go out to a shop...
The discount, yeah, if somebody wants a discount, generally that's the amount. So 10 ounces of gold or 500 ounces of silver.
Gotcha, okay. Now, do they have to have like a dealer account with you to be able to purchase in that quantity?
Yes, from us, we do need a business tax ID and then AML program. So anti money laundering, just making sure we are, if you are a registered licensed dealer in the United States, you are required to have an anti money laundering program.
Yes.
So sometimes we do, if we get an account open, we can do business without that until you can get one, until we get up to a certain amount of business. Or if we know you're not taking cash and you can prove that to us, then we're completely okay with that.
That's fair. Okay. So let's see. Hey, first time love the page question. I'm buying an MS69 70 graded coins for about $10 to $12 over spot. They want to know if that's high. So I'm assuming, is that Eagles, Joseph Miller? My assumption would be he's talking about Eagles for 10 to 12 over spot graded 69 or 70.
Yeah, I guess we'll just assume that that's Eagles. We're selling MS69s, retail for 7 to 8 over, and then we're selling MS70s for 10 to 12 over. So, that's overall fair. If you don't have to pay shipping and you're, buying a quantity of less than 10, then that's a fair price.
Fair enough. Here's a good one for you, Dave. And we are going to get into the topic we're talking about today, which is we've had a pretty strong day in silver. Someone said, what defines a surge, Royal Airships? I mean, a surge might be a strong word, but it did move up 5% today. That's, solid, given that we've seen pretty much a downward trend. So
absolutely. Yeah. When we've been down 20% in 30 days, this is, it's a nice, 1/4 of the move back in a day is, that's a chunk.
Yeah, definitely good to see it. I mean, will it continue? Obviously, we don't have any idea. I would love for it to keep going up. Dave, do you think there's any reason it might continue to go up? And I'm not asking you to predict what it will do, but do you think there's a reason for it to continue to move?
I can give you a bunch, but
yeah,
just the main reasons is, the dollar versus other currencies. The dollar's had a nice, rise here versus other currencies. I mean, even today with metals being up, the dollar index was actually up this morning. We weren't down. So to have a move like today without the dollar index or the dollar taking a hit substantially shows you there's a lot of underlying things going on behind the scenes. Just so much geopolitical turmoil. I mean, obviously the U.S. we're the largest debtor in the history of the world. We have, gigantic problems and issues. It's just not showing up with, markets around the world are near all-time highs. So right now, but there's so many underlying factors, but namely, we always look at what the U.S. dollar is doing and then just what the futures markets. So you can look at the commitment of traders report and just see just the net longs and net shorts of just where the market's at and just kind of where we're going. So we've had a good balance, a healthy market on futures right now. So it shows you that, right now it looks like we're with a move today, like we saw, looks like we're on the, starting to trend up here.
Yeah, we'll see if that trend continues. I do got a question for you though, and I know the answer to this, but I want you to kind of answer it maybe for the audience since you are the guest.
Okay.
You talk about it's nice to see silver going up at the same time that the dollar index is going up and not down. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so what do we mean by that? Well, I'll just say if I always tell customers, if you are buying gold and silver, you really want gold and silver to go down. If you live in the United States in US dollar terms, you really want the, dollar to go up. So if usually, not always, but if the dollar is up or gold and silver is up, it usually means you're buying less with your dollars. If gold and silver are down, it usually means you're buying more with your dollar. So the dollar is a measurement of usually what gold and silver, what it's able to purchase you. So that's essentially what that means, is that's a measurement of what, how to measure what gold and silver, but that's, it's truly worth. But that's essentially what that means, if that was clear enough.
Yeah, kind of. And just to kind of put it in layman's terms, what he means by that is obviously being, a U.S. citizen using U.S. dollars as your primary form of, fiat currency, you want the dollar to be stronger. But if the dollar gets stronger, typically you're going to see gold and silver go down unless gold and silver also become worth more via trading. And to put it in very layman's terms, let's say, and obviously silver's worth more than this, but just let's say, for example, silver's worth $10 an ounce today, and the dollar's worth $1. You wake up tomorrow, silver didn't change in value, but the dollar index halved. Well, silver goes to 20, even though in reality, silver's not worth any more for goods and services than it was the day before. It's just worth more dollars because the dollars are worth less. It takes more dollars for the same silver. Is that
100%?
Pretty layman's term to put it into for those watching?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
So here's one I really want to talk about because, we had actually kind of joked about this, hinted at it. Well, should we bring this up during the stream or not? But someone actually asked a question. So Civ5 for Life says, Silver Seeker, is there a process to refine 90% junk silver into 99 bars or rounds? I've always wanted to do that. So Dave from Coinhuskers actually does do this to the ire of many in the community. He actually does melt 90% silver. No key dates or collectibles, no Morgan, no CC
Hopefully
Morgan.
not.
Well, hopefully not. But he actually melts and refines 90% silver. So Dave, do you want to kind of go through that process?
Yeah, so if you want to get some nitric acid stains all over, you can have some fun melting 90%. So yeah, it's we have they're electrolysis machines. So how it works is you need deionized water. So you need the purest water you can get. So we put the water in the machine, and then we use 70% nitric acid. So what we use on a solution mix ratio, it took us a little while to figure this out, but we used about 16 gallons of water and then 9 liters of nitric acid. That's what we found gives us the best result. And then the voltage on the machine, so that's nice because some people make their own cells, but we have voltage on the machine. So we have to set the voltage. We start at about 1.5 volts, and then we turn it all the way up gradually to up to about 3.5. So, and then it takes 24 hours or more, and the 90% the copper will dilute into, it turns a nice like ocean blue if you're just doing 90%, and then you'll have silver powder that will form on the bottom. So you put the 90%, there's side holders, pockets that you can put the 90% in, and that's essentially how it works. And then at the end of that, you clean up the silver powder, and then sometimes on the dumping the acids is the hardest part, because when you dump it, sometimes a little bit of silver can be left, and it's in a liquid black or excuse me, gray, kind of grayish black form on the bottom. So if you stir it up too much, you're going to be losing some silver. So you really have to be very careful. But that's how we do it with machines. But if you do it and make your own cells, I can kind of go through that, but it's a very time intensive and a lot more dangerous to do it that way.
Yeah, we don't have to like deep dive into it per se, just kind of an idea of how that works, because I know people ask about it. So do you enjoy melting the 90% silver down, or do you just not have a choice? Like, how much of it's coming through the door that you just feel like you have to melt it? But before you answer that, I do want to say hi to my wife, because she was in here last week and I forgot to say hi. Hi, Mr. Seeker.
How's it going? How you doing?
She's way out of town right now, so I'm not going to get to see her until Saturday night, Sunday. So
looks like we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I take enjoyment? No. I mean, we wish we didn't have to do this, but we've had no other choice. So Elemental, they're the largest private mint, largest refinery in the United States. They're actually they melt in our warehouse, and from dealers right now, they're only taking 250 ounces of silver, and they'll take a little bit more from us at times, but it's just we have no other choice, because that's a small, tiny amount for us at what comes in on a daily basis. So we had no other choice, just because we don't have enough demand to suffice what was coming in for better part of 6 months of this year. Now it's starting to change a little bit, so thankfully we got some outlets, but there's still way more coming in. So there's zero enjoyment in doing this. It's just done out of necessity. We just wanted to find a solution that really not too many people are doing in the marketplace, just because Metalor has stopped buying twice and it completely shut down. So this is where 1,000-ounce COMEX bars go to, and then a Hossey's shut down too. So those are the two of the main places that a lot of this material goes to, where they essentially do what we're doing, just on a grander scale. But so that's what's going on behind the scenes right now.
Awesome. So here's a question, Sir Greystone. I don't know if it's a question or more of a criticism, or if it's a combination of both, or if it's kind of underhanded, but he says, buy the dip, more than most were saying 2 months ago, but even more now, question mark. So I'll answer this and maybe get your opinion. First off, I want to be very clear that I don't tell people what they should or should not do. I do tell people what I do occasionally, and when silver started dipping, I definitely did take advantage of that. That doesn't mean, so when I tell people I'm going to buy the dip, that doesn't mean that I don't think it's going to go down. That doesn't mean that I think I found the bottom. It just means that silver is in a better position now than it was, a couple of weeks ago, and I want to take advantage of that by being able to add more silver to my stack than I would have been able to for the same money just a few weeks ago. If it goes down more, I'll buy more and I'll lower my dollar cost average down. That's how I work my stack. So doesn't saying, when I say I'm going to buy the dip, that doesn't mean I have a crystal ball and I know that that's the bottom. Gosh, if I knew what the bottom and tops were of gold and silver, I wouldn't be on YouTube right now. I'd be on a beach. So.
100%. But I mean, still, anything that goes from 120 down to 60, and then just you look at long-term charts, I feel comfortable saying when we got in the mid 50s that is a substantial dip. I mean, even personally, I can tell you, I was looking at buying a good 7-figure amount. 55 was a number. I feel very comfortable, even if we went down to 50, another $5 from 55 to say 50, holding on to that long term. A year from now, when we're talking, we'll probably be hopefully laughing at these prices, or even let alone 10 years, we'll be completely laughing at these prices.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be honest, if silver drops below 50, you want to talk about buying the dip. That is a number where I will absolutely be like, all right, listen, we have another chance, right? But it's like Dave, you've been in this for a while. I mean, I remember, even when I was doing this channel, I remember, opening a full monster box of Eagles on here that I paid less than 10 grand for.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, it's like
that's on one of the first boxes that I bought. That's the exact price. I paid right under 10,000 so we could keep it under sales tax in Nebraska, and we had it in 2008. That's exactly where things were at. And that was when I still remember we went down to 9. I just saw James comment when silver went down to 9. That was when JP Moore took over Bear Stearns short position. We went down. I remember when it was at 9, there was still silver eagles going for $30 on eBay.
Yeah. Do you remember?
You couldn't find them. I mean, I remember when it got down to 9, the market just completely dried up. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, but we've had this gift. We had 2011, we raised margins 5 times, and then this dropped. They did the same playbook. They raised margins 4 times and leveraged and got people out of the market.
Yeah. I remember when the premiums jacked up on Eagles just a few years ago. We talked about it on this channel, didn't we? Didn't I have you on during that time?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Wild. Do you think we could ever see that again? Like what causes, I know the answer to a lot of what I'm asking you, but I want you to explain to the people, what causes premiums to just skyrocket on Eagles, like it did back then, or even 90% just a couple of years ago when it was nearly double spot price, versus where it is today where you can barely get rid of it?
Yeah, well, obvious supply and demand. But let's just go in. So the U.S. Mint, there's 9 different distributors from the U.S. that buy directly from the U.S. Mint, and you've done videos on this. They pay $2.35 over spot. So what happens is there's so much demand, so there's allocations for this. So basically these distributors can put it at the prices they want because they know that's where the market dictates at that point in time. But we literally do have so much demand at that point that it's that they buy 25,000 ounces minimum at a time, but they only get this certain number of allocation. So it's just they're making sure that money stretches and that they can because of the next allocation they get, who knows the price where it's going to be too. So then they have to hedge that, and a lot of that comes down to hedging issues too when you get in those markets and there's so much demand and your replacement cost now becomes just say you bought that allocation at 60 and then it goes to 80. Well, that's a substantial amount of money when you're buying the volume that they're buying and the allocations that they're getting. So that's partly what goes on when you get those spikes. And then also it's just business practice. When you can get $10 over, $20 over, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But that's mostly when it gets filtered down to dealers, but that's what the distributors are getting it from the U.S. Mint. So when just call it what it is. There is a little bit of price gouging at times when you get those market spikes, but it hasn't been, like we saw in 2011, 2013, even 2009, where the U.S. Mint just, it doesn't matter. You couldn't get Eagles at almost any price. Didn't matter if you had 100 million in the bank. They just completely halted supply at those period of times. We saw that, at least 2015 too. So, we saw that 4 or 5 times in that short 6-year window when we had, after the 2008 banking crisis.
Right. I want to let everyone know that's watching. I am currently just over 10 minutes behind in the chat, so I'm going through it slow so we can try and hit all the questions. I actually have
I'll speed up the answer. Sorry.
No. It's totally fine. I actually have 2 chat windows open so I can see anything that's kind of crucial over on this one, but also this, I have one right here that's kind of like, all right, this is where the questions are. So I'm trying to follow both. So Jason Smith has a question, and the answer we can't really give, but I'll at least acknowledge it. He says, "What's up, Silver Seeker? I just hit 15 ounces of silver, 11 grams of gold. Do you see gold?" Congrats, by the way, on starting your stack. That is an awesome start. Good job, buddy. Do you see gold hitting 6,000 and silver hitting 500 at some time in the future? Obviously, I believe that it will at some point in the future. Will I be alive to see it? Will it be tomorrow? I don't have an answer for that. What do you think, Dave?
I used to always say this. You don't want gold at $5,000, but we're going at $5,000 gold. We hit it. I think, $6,000 gold. I think that's, a lot of people are even predicting that plus by the end of the year.
Yeah.
We will hit $6,000 gold, $500 silver. That's a little different scenario, but sometime down the road, you look at the debts and the deficits that we have. Rick Rule, he's even out there all the time saying, we got to devalue the dollar by 75%. Do the math on where things are going to have to, metals will have to go if we do that. It's substantially and much, much higher. So, yes, at some point for gold, I think that's probably, I don't want to say a no-brainer, but it is probably most likely going to be a no-brainer. 6,000 is not much from here. $500 silver. Yeah, I hope we're both old and gray before we see that. Otherwise, that means very, very bad things. But if we do get, we got this China Silk Road deal, all the solar demand usage with Samsung and everything that's going on, hopefully that's a sign that silver's just in high demand. And we, JP Morgan and all these big banks that have been controlling the price, hopefully that just means, the manipulation and all that is broken down. Because nobody knows what a fair market price of gold and silver is. Nobody.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good answer, because I really don't think anyone has any clue what it's truly worth these days. What I do know, however, is that, and you can attest to this, it should definitely be worth more than it is right now, in my opinion.
Absolutely, 100%.
The U.S. dollar is the scariest currency that's ever existed in the history of human beings.
Besides all 180 others. I keep joking, the U.S. dollar, we're the king of the dipshits. Right now, we're just benefiting from the stupidity of the rest of the world, and we need to enjoy the lifestyle that we live right now, because our life in the United States is not going to be this way someday in the future. Things are going to change drastically down the road. And
that's what I mean. And that's, just to be clear, that's what I mean by it's scary, because when does it all fall apart? And that's what scares me. And like you said, if silver hits 500, I hope we're old and gray by then, because. And I used to say this about $100 silver, and I guess technically it did hit it, although it wasn't a very stable $100. But if silver were a stable $500, there's something wrong with the dollar. At least if it's during our lifetime, right?
100%.
Sorry, there's a gnat flying around.
I got one too. I don't know what's going on.
So let's see. Kevin Smith Chewy wants to know if you're going to have a booth at the Lansing show, and will you have Libertad? So I know you'll have a booth. You won't be there, though. Do you want to answer the other part? Go ahead.
We got. I sold you Libertads. I had somebody that made me a good offer, so I'm sorry. I was hopeful we'd have some, but no, we're not going to have any. We haven't had many Libertads at all. We've been getting dried out because ever since Tulsa, when Seeker said we had Libertads for that price, everybody's been calling up, even though some people thought 25 over was crazy high. We had a bunch of people thought that was a great deal, or 20 over. So, but no, we won't have any, unfortunately. But we will. Nate's going to leave tonight for Lansing.
You didn't tell him about the Libertads you sold me for 30 an ounce, did you? No.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Boy, I wish. All right. This is a good question for you because I don't know anything about it. What is the latest news on Nebraska legislature trying to tax metal sales?
Didn't go anywhere. So I have no news for you. So thankfully, no news is good news.
Yeah.
We've been looking at other states to, just to make sure we're ahead of the game because someday I can kind of see the stupidity happening. So, but no, we're good till we get the new legislature coming in a couple of years, and then we'll have to fight it again like usual.
Look at what happened in Washington.
Oh, brutal.
I feel so sorry.
Had somebody on our website try and buy and then put a Nebraska address to avoid the sales tax. I feel for it's brutal. I feel for those people so much.
Could you imagine the shops that are trying to operate in that state?
We deal with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have they said to you about it? Anything?
Just, I mean, they mostly, they sell us stuff. They don't, people aren't buying. I mean, it's just, they have the shops there. They've been established. So they're just buying, but they're not selling because everybody, they're just going to Oregon and Idaho.
So they're selling to those shops, but they're not buying from those shops.
Correct.
Totally
they're not
understandable.
Sales tax, or they do under the table cash. I mean, it's just, that's what happened here in Nebraska. We had sales tax up until, 2014. We got it removed, but yeah, it's the same. They're doing cash deals and, but yeah, they can't do check or bank wire or any of that. So yeah, no, it's brutal. It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
The business in the state.
I'd love to keep talking about that, but it really actually upsets me. I don't understand how you can.
Same. I've been in 3 states getting around the stupidity. So trust me, if anybody understands,
Yeah, for sure.
I spent a lot of money getting around it.
So I know you know a little bit about silver and gold on the world stage. So we'll ask you this one. Buy low, sell chai says China ending paper market for gold. So should see a spike in physical for gold and silver? ?
Yeah, we'll find out. That's how I've been on the last, we had the Shanghai, gold exchange when that opened up in what was it, 2019 or when it was the year that opened up. So, I thought we'd get you always got the West, the paper losers, and the East, the metal cruisers. That was kind of the joke. And we haven't had that divergence. I mean, you see the China paper gold price, but you have to pay the value added tax there too. So, I mean, you got to factor that in when people, say that. You always got to factor that in. So the China price should be a lot higher than the Western world. But yeah, I mean, we need more exchanges. I mean, you've had London and New York for a century that have controlled and fixed the price. That's a huge problem. That's why we have not had this, gold and silver be able to reach their fair true value, which we won't have a fair market, but just to have, when we get in those markets where silver goes up over 100, if we didn't have that margin raises, who knows where silver would have ran to.
Yep. So hold on, I'm trying to. I was half listening to you and half trying to keep up on the chat. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get through some of this. So you finished talking. I'm like, yep, and I don't even know what I said. Yep. I'm so sorry.
Good thing we're live.
Yeah, guys. So I'm now 13 minutes behind in the chat. So. I mean, if you want your question to be responded to immediately, you can throw up a super chat. I'll see those immediately. I'm not seeing the
questions here. I'll go through. Here, I'll pop up the video. Let me see.
No, you're fine. Right. But I don't want to miss the other one, so we're trying to stay up. I know Bo Ralchowski says, so you're not melting it or dissolving it. So this was way back when you were talking about 90%. You have to turn it into 999 fine. You have to dissolve it. I mean, you
got it. Yeah, the liquid. Here, I'll see if I can find a photo. So it turns in. So you start seeing, once you start doing this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's...
Move it over just a little bit to, right there.
Okay, so this right here, when it's real dark green like this means there's a lot of iron, and this isn't, I'll show you what it looks like if you get all copper. So copper is going to look like a nice ocean blue color. So this is copper right here.
Move it over. Yeah, just a little bit more. Yeah, there you go.
ocean blue right there. But that's essentially what it turns into. This was mostly all 90% right there. So that's what it's going to look like after you melt it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't just melt 90% and turn it into 99 bars. Like, you have to separate the other metals. So you have to do something. Yeah.
And then even when we get it done, like when we XRF them, we get it to like 95 to highest is like 90, 98. But then we mix a little bit of pure silver with it. Not one issue with our bars. But we need to be very careful. If we sell it to large wholesalers, they need the grain 99.1% or higher because they're ISO certification. So ISO certification, they have to be certified they can't sell any bars below that purity. So it's got to be marked, 999 fine or higher. So we got to do a lot of process just to make sure, who we know or who we're selling it to. So a lot of bars just get wholesaled out until we get the whole process fine-tuned even a little bit more.
Gotcha. So I'm trying to scroll faster through the chat. So if I miss one of your questions, guys, just feel free to put it back in. Just every 5 minutes is fine until I finally get to it. If I see your question twice, I totally understand why. Doing my absolute best. Buy Low Sell Chai, another question here says, he's the one that asked about China. He said, will we see a $25 gap from physical versus paper on silver again this year when China halts gold paper trading this month as well? So will we see a physical versus paper gap on silver like we did a few years ago?
Yeah, it's above my pay grade.
Fair enough.
We'll see. I mean, we'll yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily want those gaps because that's what created such a huge problem. You had a lot of product that was getting sent over from London to New York, and then just for a while there was 90%. I'll touch on this real quick, Seeker. We were sending 90% in sterling silver over to London, so we were locking in. So Elmetal, we were helped together. They were locking in about 50,000 ounces and sending it over to London at a time, just because you can get it processed so much faster. But that's how far behind everything the U.S. got, and that's the demand over there. They needed it. So that's we got this equilibrium or imbalance between already what's going on in Europe and the United States, and it's even a bigger problem in China. So we get machines in China. We talk to them too, and demand has been good over there. I mean, there's even been lines out the door to buy in silver. Once silver became legal in China, but it's still catching on even more. And the real estate, bubbles that they've had and the problems that they've had, it's helped people get into metals in China even more. So I wish we could find a way to ship a lot of it over to China, but just the costs are too much. But you don't want that. The whole point is you don't want that paper imbalance to happen. So it's gonna create too much problems in the market.
For sure. What do the physical premiums look like over in Asian markets? Do you know?
Yeah, sometimes I haven't asked in the last month or two. I'll ask tonight, see what they say, and then but you did have, it was well over 10% premiums.
Right. Oxus B wants to know if you're going to have silver bars at the show, and if so, what are you going to be selling them for?
Yes, we'll have our bars. We didn't get as much made as we wanted to. We're selling them at spot.
Okay, so spot price for bars. That'll be at the show. MChat63 wants to know, why do you all think Libertads are in such high demand? Like, why are people willing to pay that for them? And also, a second question for you. What do you think about the 25s? Go ahead.
Okay, low mintage. I like the 25s.
Do you have a 25? Did you ever have a 25 come through your business?
Yes, we move them quick.
What'd you sell them for?
I think it was like 25 over.
For 2025?
No, the 25. No, the 25. No, the 25. No, the 25. Okay. No, we were no.
So you misunderstood what I said meant by 25. So yeah.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Did you ever have any 2025s come through your business?
Not yet.
Okay. I was about to say, if you have 2025s for 25 over, I'm in.
For sure. I'll be calling you. Hey, everybody. For sure. I hope it's a stampede at that.
Right, pretty much. So why do you think Libertads are in such high demand, though?
Yeah, low mintage.
Yeah.
And then just, people gravitate the design. But just that's the biggest thing is Libertads have such, low mintage. And then, we ordered Libertads. This is 3 I think 2 years ago. So we ordered them it was like June, and we didn't even get them till November. I mean,
Okay.
everything just got stuck in, that's obviously when issues in customs and stuff. But it just the low mintage is the biggest reason.
Fair enough. Let me ask you, Dave, do you actually stack or collect anything on your own? Is there something you're like, you're a big fan of that you keep on your own?
Chinese pandas for the longest time. So ever since 2011, I would buy a box of Chinese pandas, and if you ever bought a box of Chinese pandas, are the biggest pains in the butt to get open. You got to use box cutters, and yeah, I mean it's a pain. So
they've changed over the years because they used to come in plastic sheets of 30 that you peeled open, and now they come in the hard plastic sheets of 15.
Yep,
So
they changed. Yeah, they changed that, but they used to have those boxes. So, because they would almost go up by the beginning of the year and the end of the year, they'd almost go up every single year about 10%, and that's even when silver was going down. But when COVID happened and premiums got up there, I sold everything. So I don't anymore. Everything's for sale. I don't quote unquote love anything that doesn't love me back. So everything's for sale that I have.
fair enough. Okay. So Fabled One has a question about the wholesale side of your business. He goes, do you treat different dealers differently? I'm not sure what he means by that, but his second question is, how would a new coin dealer work with you?
Yeah. So I mean, all relationships are summed up by one word: trust. So there is, I'll just point blank say we have a lot of dealers that we trust. Then when we get product in that, they've been so loyal to us that we'll, give them great deals. Josh from Minot, if there's certain product that comes in, Josh is first in mind that I, have for a lot of stuff. And then we got other dealers for certain other products. So yes, the established relationships, you always want to, do whatever you can to keep your people that have been loyal to you happy. And then, but no, we try and make sure we get everybody the same, fair prices. And but relationships take a long time to build and establish. But we try and make sure that we give everybody a fair chance. But right now in this marketplace, it's been tough to keep everybody happy. I mean, not everybody. We have constant calls for libertads, kookaburras. It's an impossible circumstance. So it's just. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, you're fine. I didn't want to. I'm reading. So I'm quickly catching up on the chat, which is great.
Go ahead.
And I'm reading some stuff, and I just started laughing at this guy, Man. Were you done with what you were saying?
No, yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
All right,
yeah.
Manchu Detachment just made me laugh. He goes, Libertads are the most overrated coins. No micro engraving, no radial features, no reeded edges. If you want a coin with no security features, buy Libs. That's not what I laughed at. I laughed at the next one. He then goes, Libs look like Libs look like the engraver fell in love with a Rolls Royce hood ornament.
Yeah. That's good.
That's really good. This guy clearly does not like Libertads. That's okay.
Okay, so then did we answer the MS70 proof?
No, so the next one is someone wanted to know what they should pay for an MS70 proof Silver Eagle. Well, it'd be a PF70, but we know what he meant.
Yeah. NGC or PCGS, I mean, I think retail anywhere 10 to 15 over would be fair. Again, it comes down to quantity. So if you're, getting them local and you don't have to pay the shipping and you're paying cash, then that's a fair price.
Right. So Manchu said, pandas are the same. I bet the Chinese dropped off a large shipping trailer full of them and spin some stories about mintage. I made this point, and I'm going to have to Google something to get to. So, let's see, 2016. So I made a really funny point in a video a long time ago about China going from 1 ounce to 30 grams. So you're losing 1.103 grams for coin, right?
Yeah.
So that seems insignificant, but the mintage just on the 2016 alone, which was the first year that they did 30-gram pandas, was 8 million. So that is 8.824 million grams of silver, which comes out to 283,702 ounces. So times today's spot price of 59, the China, while making it look very insignificant, the amount of silver that they shaved off of the coin, just in 2016 alone, based on today's spot price, saved $16.7 million in silver.
Yeah.
By shaving off 1 gram. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
reminds you a lot of why they started putting reeded edges on gold coins back in the day.
Yeah, 100%.
And if anyone in the chat doesn't know why that is, I'm sure you do. But the reason we have reeded edges on coins is because back in the day, they would shave just a little bit off into a pan of every gold coin that they had, and eventually they'd have a bunch of free gold.
Yep.
So,
Good old Roman.
good old Roman, right? So, yeah, isn't that crazy though? And that's just in 2016. Like
Yeah.
it's not insignificant. It feels insignificant because you're like, oh, it's just 1 gram. It's silver, whatever. You know, it's a couple bucks, but it makes a big difference.
While we're on this topic, so we found the other day, so we granulized pretty much every product on the market besides Silver Eagles. Even on some, I guess we kind of did on a little bit turn, but we've melted down pretty much almost everything out there. So we found, so Engelhard always weighs over, but the grain is terrible. But we found by kind of granulizing and then making our bars that we were actually gaining a little bit more silver at times.
That's actually
because they weigh them over. So especially on the Engelhard. So that's why a lot of people like the Engelhard bars too. But they always overweigh them. So if you get a 100-ounce bar, it's usually if you weigh them, almost a couple grams more than what's so it should be 3,111 and it's 3,113.
interesting. Do you find that same discrepancy with gold?
Not as much on gold because just the amount. So it's just that's why we don't want to granulize too much gold because like anything you lose on gold, that's big money.
Yeah, it's a significant difference because I remember, I have a furnace and I melt silver every once in a while. And I was like, man, it'd be cool to melt like a couple ounces of gold and pour like a gold bar. But I'm like, man, even if I lose just a little bit of that, that's like a lot of money.
You better practice very good on silver because if you're not fine-tuned, it's a lot. Trust me, yeah. We spent a long time trying to figure out how much melt loss we were actually having. And then now that we've got it fine-tuned, but at first it was it takes a little while.
So speaking of melt loss, how much have you noticed? Do you lose from like just refining 90%? So if you weigh it, do you weigh it? I assume you weigh it. You don't do by face value.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we've actually even been granulizing it too. So then we granulize it and then put it through the Oasis machine. It's extremely tough when you do the Oasis machine. So the melt loss, I mean, it's virtually impossible. But you're losing, at less than 1%, at most 2%. But that's where I'm trying to figure out that liquid. I actually asked China last night, what we can do on the liquid part, but they kind of didn't understand what I was saying. I called them, but it's very overall. It's insignificant. It's not that much.
Yeah.
It's still worthwhile to turn it into 999 just because you're going to get paid so much more.
For sure. I've actually melted 90% before, and it was just really slick. So don't everyone get mad at me, but it was like,
oh man, I'm getting this word out.
Yeah, no, I mean it's like Washington quarters that are so slick you can't even read the date, like that kind of stuff, right? And so,
yeah,
I have melted a little bit of that before, and it was interesting, but I didn't really feel comfortable about it. So I don't know. You know what I do feel comfortable melting, throwing into a furnace is, I don't have a problem melting milk maples. Has no issue with me. In fact, I have told people the best way to remove milk spot from maples is a lot of heat, right? And the best way to do it.
Yeah. Well, if you ever do silver nickels, just make sure you have a lot of water because I didn't have enough water, and I about created a nice fire the other day.
Melting maples?
Silver nickels.
Oh, nickels. Oh, I'm not interested because
it's a pain in the butt.
Well, it's a pain in the butt. Plus, it gives off toxic fumes, and I'm not interested. I melt my furnace is in my garage, and I can open the garage door, but I don't because pure silver. I'm not worried about it. But if I were melting something like war nickels, no thanks. Yeah, I'm not interested in breathing that in. Have to go get a respirator. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had enough practice to don't do it.
Yeah, no interest there at all. Hey, Samuel Ting, 1876. Chat is slowed down, by the way, so we're going to be caught up on chat, so we'll be able to keep flowing here. But he says he wants you to know that he lives in Omaha and he's going to make an appointment online sometime, so look out for him. That'd be cool.
Awesome. Let's go.
Yep.
Look forward to seeing you.
Canadian silver melted. Just kidding, says J-Dog. What's up, J-Dog? Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. So, hey, Mrs. Coin Crew, are you going on tonight after me? Because I know Keith said that when he's not able to live stream, he was going to have you do it. Is that actually happening or no? Bicentennial Baby says, Seeker, I was surprised that you didn't attend the coin show in Schaumburg. What is Schaumburg? What state is that in? Schaumburg?
Is that the Pennsylvania?
It might be. Pennsylvania's really far from me.
And then I saw the comment about do you think Libertads are in short mintage due to silver supply or artificial to increase demand? No, Libertads have always been in low mintage. There really hasn't been a high mintage Mexican Libertad versus the other mints. If you want to compare the 6 major mints around the world, so you got the United States, Canada, Australia, Great Britain, Austria, and South Africa. Those are the 6 major mints around the world. If you compare it to those, it's low supply on the Libertads.
Fair enough. J-Dog says I may make a trip to Coinhuskers as well. Now, J-Dog, you know Stacy's Miscellanea was there, right? So she's the one that I recommended to you a long time ago.
Yeah. Sweet lady. Yeah. Thank you.
So J-Dog is the brother of her late husband, A.G. Price, who we dearly miss on this channel. So I'm definitely not taking his place either. All right, so Coin Crew is not going to be live after the stream tonight. So, Dave, let me ask you this, since we're kind of caught up in questions. Why is
Illinois.
it that you're saying...
Yeah, Illinois, it is Illinois, excuse me.
Oh, Illinois.
Yeah, I should have, yeah.
Gotcha.
I apologize, I should have got that one.
I wonder how far away that is. I'll have to Google that. I can't go to every single coin show, unfortunately. I wish I had the time for it. So, Dave, let me ask you this. Why are you not going to Lansing? Why are you sending a lackey?
We got too much going on behind the scenes here. I showed Seeker a little bit, but we got some cooler weather here, so we gotta get these machines and get some stuff kind of fine-tuned here behind the scenes. And then my wife's in Thailand, so we'd only have the phones and emails were behind. We had about 40 plus emails this morning. I think we got about 10 missed calls. I got to get back today already. So, but yeah, just too much going on.
Am I keeping you from your streams? Or from your calls, I mean?
No, completely fine.
All right. Create Craft Coins is here. Hey, welcome back. So, says recovering from an abdominal scar surgery and I'm feeling much better. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Sore throat is also better. That's awesome. Welcome back. And I'm glad I'm back to streaming too. It's been a change. I'm not.
You guys are taking it easy tonight. I thought we were gonna have some hard questions here.
I thought we were gonna have some hard questions, but no one's thrown anything hard up. They're like, oh, let me throw some softballs to old Dave from Coinhuskers here.
Yeah, we had someone with China again. Yeah, that one we commented on earlier, but if you didn't see, we mentioned that we'll find out. We really don't. Nobody knows. So, but we don't want a divergence between the paper and physical. We talked about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just why that's an issue and why that's a problem. So, if you missed that, we had that earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
Or when we were live.
So, if we have any of my channel members in the house, put in AG Price's the custom icon that I just put in there. Memory to AG Price. We definitely miss him. Resin Dragon, you can do that too. So, what's the next coin show that you're going to be at, Dave? That you are going to be at?
That I'm going to be at, well, we're looking at Omaha Coin Show. No, we're hopefully doing the Kansas City Coin Show, the monthly coin show, next month, and then we're looking at doing Wichita, which you should hopefully if you can make it down to Wichita. The Wichita's is, I think the week before ANA in Pittsburgh, so it'll be like August 21st. So hopefully that we can meet up there. So that's. We're going to be going, and then we still haven't got a table for Pittsburgh ANA, but we're looking at calling just because Nate that you're going to meet in Lansing, hopefully he'll be able to do that with someone else too. So we got some new guys training. We're actually looking at doing a store in another state, so that's why it's another reason why I'm not going is we got this push and I'm trying to get everything in place. So that's actually another big reason.
That's fair. Unfortunately, I will not make the Wichita show. I am going on a vacation with my wife like right around that time, so it would work out.
Good on you.
I would love to though. So you kind of answered this question earlier, but Bicentennial Baby says, out of your personal stack, what would you sell last? I mean, I know what I would sell last. It's a coin that has significance with my late father. So, but as far as aside from that, over the years of doing this channel, I've been sent a lot of gifts, and so that would be the absolute last thing I would sell. And I would literally have to be like, all right, if I don't sell this, I starve to death, right? So,
yeah.
Do you have anything like that?
Just something somebody gave me. We've had a lot of good customers and friends over the years, so I saved that. But no, I literally do not get attached to anything. Everything that I have is for sale. If somebody gets more enjoyment out of it than I would, then that makes me happy. I generally enjoy seeing other people's happiness and getting other people interested than my own self. Like that's kind of what I started this business. Like I was so passionate to explain people how the monetary system works, and I used to go around and do I made it like a game to get people to understand just how they're creating currency out of nothing, just how the monetary system works. That was actually my biggest. But I don't have anything that would make me sad to not have my stack. Everything's for sale.
Alex B says, unfortunately, you're going on vacation with your wife. I didn't mean unfortunately. I just meant unfortunately I wouldn't be able to be at the show. Thank you. Create Crafts.
What's up, Gary?
So Resin Dragon just answered Create Crafts, but that's a custom emoji for AG Price, who passed away. He was what we referred to as the mod boss on the channel. I want to show everybody, and Dave, you're not watching the actual stream, so you're not going to be able to see these like they will. So I'll hold it up here first for you. I'm going to put this.
I've got it on now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, here, so let's switch over to this. So a couple of things that are like, prized possessions of mine. This is a 1798 VF20 Large Eagle that is in my personal collection that I absolutely adore. But that's not the last thing I'd sell. It's actually this, and I'll tell you the story on this for you guys watching. And Dave, I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but this coin right here, it's an 1879 Unk details, and NGC certified it as artificial toning. The story on this is that it was an end roll coin, and you can kind of tell that if you look at it. My dad and I used to have grading competitions where we would take 10 coins and we'd both grade them in separately, and then save our answers, and then we'd send them off, and then we'd see who was closest. Well, my dad really loved this coin, absolutely loved this coin. And so we both put a grade on it and then sent it off, and when we got it back, it came back Unk details, and he about threw a fit. I had not seen him that mad in a very long time. He's like, absolutely horse crap, clearly, to him, he knew exactly how that got toned. So to him, he's like, BS, right? Well, anyway, right after that happened, I mean, it wasn't even a week after that came back is when we found out he had lung cancer. And so, yeah. Right. And so we had talked about, cracking it and resending it to PCGS. And then he found out he had lung cancer, and he found out he had lung cancer in March of 2012. And then he passed away in October of 2012. So,
man, much compassion.
That coin's going to go into my casket with me. That's how I look at it. So,
heck yeah. Very cool.
Anywho, there you go. There's my story for the most important coin in my stack. So there's a couple things that I would not sell. Oxby says, did you guys buy those Liberty Bell coins? Did you buy any of the bells?
I didn't get any of the bells, no.
Did you notice the gold ones did not sell out, at least as of yesterday?
Yeah, I was talking with Mike from Mid-America yesterday about that. So I was almost going to buy one from him, but we didn't have much demand. We didn't really have people asking for it. I mean, who doesn't want to buy gold at, $20,000+? I mean, for a 1 ounce, come on.
Yeah, it's 19.6 for the 1 ounce, so it's not quite 20 grand. Come on, let's be fair.
Well, now you can buy it on that website, but yeah. Mike offered at 22,000, then they came available again. So I was, but yeah, did you get silver at all?
No, I forgot that they were coming out, and I wasn't going to buy one anyway. Now I thought about purchasing one because I knew you were going to be able to resell it. but I never get around to it. But I would not buy one for me. I mean, who wants to pay $1,500 an ounce for silver? Talk about $500 an ounce silver. Well, the U.S. Mint thinks it's $1,500, right?
Yeah.
Credit card fees. The U.S. Mint doesn't charge credit card fees. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to pay for shipping, but they don't charge credit card fees.
I saw someone asked about, do you use baking soda? Yeah, we use baking soda for bars, but E-Zest is the best. So we always use E-Zest. So we get E-Zest in gallons, and that's what we use to clean silver bars. That works the best for us.
Boy,
and then we have a polisher, so we actually polish our bars. So we use a nice buffer, and then that's what gives it that nice finish.
Speaking of something that you don't want to breathe in, you certainly don't want to breathe in that Easiest coin cleaner.
No, oh yeah.
That's
still, you get nitric acid with silver nickels, and that's like 100 times worse. E-Zest is not bad. You get enough water in it, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, that stuff smells like, yeah. It smells like a word.
For sure.
Okay. Well, guys, we are getting close to the end here, so if you have any final questions, throw them in. I do want to quickly, obviously, remind you that, Dave here is from Coinhuskers, and really appreciate you being here with us, Dave. I also want to remind you, pinned at the bottom of the chat is a link to our giveaway. There's only 1 week left, so we are going to be picking the winners, let's see, in 7 days and 6 hours. So we'll be picking them in 7 days and 6 hours. So we'll be picking them after this stream in a week, basically. And then a week from that, we will be announcing the winners. And if you guys don't remember what we are giving away, I'll show you on camera really quick. So we'll go back to the IP camera. Rob Finds Treasure donated this thing right here, which is one of those July 4th quarters. Hey, Dave, have you ever seen any of these? Did you ever get any of these in your shop? The July 4th?
No, I have not seen those at all. Only about 1,000 plus today came in. So
you bought 1,000 July 4th quarters today.
4th.
You bought 1,000 of these today.
To get them. What
did you pay? If you don't want to share that, if it's privileged information.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
Share everything. So we bought 10 Sunday at $250, and then we bought 133 yesterday, and we paid 150 to 165, and then we had that's pretty much what we bought. So we had over 200 that actually total that we bought at that, and then yesterday, and then today we bought over 1,000, and we're still working out where to be on it. Just awesome. we bought them at 150, and then trying to figure out where to be on the rest because there's so many.
Yeah, that's fair. That's so many, man. Holy smokes. I guess someone's like, all right, I'm done trying to sell them by themselves, so we're gonna just dump them, right?
That's pretty much. It's just you can only move so much on eBay at once.
Right. So, in addition to that giveaway for you guys, we're giving away one of those quarters, but I'm also giving away 4 ounces of silver, and this, of course, is to celebrate the Stack Heavy app. So, if you haven't downloaded the Stack Heavy app on iOS or Android, definitely do so. It is definitely starting to pick up some steam on the download, so I appreciate that. I'm hoping to soon get to 10,000 installed base and then go from there. So 100% free. It's an app I built on my own. It's not like some government app that steals your information. So I made it all by myself, sitting on a MacBook on my recliner for 3 months. So, but check it out. The link's down there.
We'll throw in a 2-ounce Coinhuskers bar. I'll get you one when Nate will get you one in Lansing.
You're gonna throw in a 2-ounce Coinhuskers bar?
Yes, sir.
How awesome is that? Dude, so guys, we're going to have an additional giveaway from Coinhuskers for the Stack Heavy app. That'd be cool. Thank you, man. That's really cool. I'll pick that up at Lansing. Let's see.
What?
Silver Seeker, I think I just became a gazillionaire. Soup night, 10 minutes ago, ran to the store to get stuff for a change and got a quarter, dual date, D mint mark, Liberty Bell on reverse. This is a special one. Nice. Congrats, man.
Good find.
That's a really good find. But yeah, guys, that wraps us up. So we're like right at 7 o'clock. So again, check out the giveaway. It's pinned at the bottom of the chat, and download the app. And if you download the app, by the way, right now on the bottom of the app, there's a pop-up that gives you a code for a bunch of bonus entries into the giveaway. Dave, before we go, is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to share that we didn't cover today? Any questions that you think we missed? Go ahead.
Just thanks for everybody watching. I hope everybody, or some people, can make it to Lansing. Look forward to seeing you guys. We're going to try and get some videos out. I know we've been slacking on that, so we'll hopefully have some out here later this week. So just appreciate everybody's support, and thanks for having me, Seeker, and look forward to seeing you again in person here sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. It'd be great. M Chat says, great show, guys. So, really quick before we go, someone said, how do you enter the giveaway? Literally click the link. It explains it. So just click the link. It's pinned at the bottom of the chat. I pinned the message. So, all right, guys, it's 7 o'clock, so we're out of here. Thank you so much. We should be back next week after the coin show. I should have some footage from the coin show as well. So make sure, oh, I didn't mean to switch to me, fool. Make sure that you don't miss out on those videos. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.